Right, we are preparing ourselves to go live. I hope, Rishi, you are all set.
Yeah, always. All set.
I'm sure this is going to be a wonderful conversation that we're going to have, and people are really going to enjoy it.
I hope so. Because I believe the cook always likes the food that they cook, but it's up to the people who are eating it. So, yeah.
Okay, so we are live, and a big hi to the entire training community and all the fans out here. I'm sure there are a lot of fans that we have of our guest speaker this evening. And to give a small introduction, and that's, I believe me, it's going to be a really small introduction when I say that as the guest speaker, we have an ACE trainer, we have a wonderful motivational speaker, we have the founder of Nibhish Consultancy, and also self-proclaimed spiritualist. So now this is going to be a wonderful session where we're going to understand the journey that our guest Rishi Nanda has gone through to reach from an employee to the spiritualist. So are we all set, Rishi?
Yeah, all set.
Great. So let me start off with the most important question that I believe, and I'm sure is on everyone's head. Who is a spiritualist?
So I'll tell you right now. You said that self-proclaimed spiritualist. So first, so I have to first give you a story behind this. See, I'm a storyteller. So whatever you ask, mostly, I'm gonna come up with stories only. So when I deep dived into ancient Indian history, or popularly called as
Mhm.
Indian mythology. So the term that is used is a mythologist, and
Okay.
that is what I'm actually known as, a mythologist. But 2 years back, a guru from ISKCON, Prabhu Vidur Priya from
Mhm.
USA, he called me. We were part of a group, and he called me and he said that, Rishi, don't call yourself a mythologist. So I said, then what do I call? He said that, I would like to propose a name and a term. Call yourself the spiritualist, and you'll see your entire life will start turning. So,
Mhm.
honestly, I was not convinced. So I didn't take that name,
Okay.
and I said, okay, Guruji, I'll look into it.
Uh-huh.
So after 4 5 months, again he called, and he said, trust me, and it's not that, he's my guru or I follow him or something like that. It's just that I know him, and he called me twice. He called me the second time and he said, trust me, Rishi, to naam change kar le. Because earlier my Facebook page was Rishi Nanda the mythologist. He said change the entire term and call yourself the spiritualist.
Mhm.
Now over that time I said, now ISKCON ke hai, Guruji hai, and a very well learned person, and he's telling me to change, so what's the harm in changing, so I think dekha jayega jo hoega. And you not believe it, Roy, I changed it, and I think the world just changed completely altogether. So when you said self-proclaimed, to be honest, I'm not self-proclaimed. I've been given the term the spiritualist by Prabhu Vidur Priya, and always thank him. So we are part of a community group, so I always thank him, and I thank him in front of everyone also, because the
Mhm.
moment I changed the name, my life actually completely changed a lot. So
So
that's the term. Yeah. So
perfect. And
that's how I
in
got the name.
fact,
Yeah.
it's a very interesting word. Now, with the very fact that you called yourself earlier, but in the earlier days, I heard you calling yourself the mythologist.
Correct.
Now, when you say a mythologist, by definition, is something or someone that deals with myths.
Okay.
So, but your entire work has been around the epics like
Correct.
Ramayana and Mahabharata and
Correct.
the Bhagavad Gita.
Correct.
So, why a mythologist, or why is it called mythology? What's your take on that?
So what happens? My understanding is a lot of time, people would just. So there could be two things. Either
Uh-huh.
I'm not well read, or I don't know the real meaning of it. But when I went to a dictionary.com and I checked the
Mhm.
word mythology, what does it mean? So yes, one, it's a myth. Second definition is it's a collection of stories related to a particular religion. So that is
Okay.
also a definition of mythology. First, second, what happens is whenever I start any workshop, and it could be any workshop, it could be even a behavioral workshop, leadership workshop. I always start with a line, and the line is that I'm not promoting any religion, thought process, religion, belief. It is just for understanding, expression, purpose. You believe
Uh-huh.
Rama exists, you're right. You believe Rama does not exist, you're right. Whatever you believe is right. I believe Rama exists, but in case you believe Rama does not exist, I'm sure we both can coexist. There are beautiful stories, there are beautiful learnings from the epics, from our Purans. So let's focus on the learning rather than getting into an unended debate, an argument on the spiritual
Hmm.
part of it or the existing part of it. So for me, it is very important to share the learning, of our scriptures. It is very important for me to share, even, like I come from a convent school. So I will give
Okay.
reference from Bible also. I'll give reference from Granth also. I mean, being a Punjabi,
Hmm.
I'll give references from Buddhism, Mahavir, a little
Okay.
bit knowledge I have of Islam. So I'll give, a reference of Prophet Muhammad also. So I do
Hmm.
not, yes, but 80%, 90% it would be, of Hinduism, if you can call that. So that is why, term mythology, when I use that
Hmm.
term, it gives me the platform to cut across various religions. See, I've been blessed enough where I stood and, there are 1,500 people or 2,000 people sitting in front of me. I don't know their religion. I don't know their belief system. But if that line, if that term helps me to channelize their focus, their energy towards learning, so I think that's more than enough. So that is why, I'm actually cool with it. So even in a book also we have written,
Hmm.
very clearly. The first line is, it's ancient Indian history, popularly called as Indian mythology. So to each its own,
Okay.
but let's focus on
Hmm.
the learning. So that's my real reason. So when someone argues with me, Rama exists करता है, मैं मुझे नहीं पता बाबा, मेरा belief है. I
Okay.
believe I can get into the, factual part of it, but I never get into arguments with them, because to each its own. Yeah.
So, Rishi, now I'm sure this has been a wonderful start to the conversation that we are going to have. And before we move ahead, I guess I need to request all our viewers out here, please like, share, create watch parties, whatever you'd like to do, because I'm sure that what we're going to have this evening is going to be something that is going to be have a huge takeaway or a huge impact on all of you. There's going to be a lot of learning. So please, I would request you, make sure to like, share, and create more watch parties. So let's go ahead with this conversation. And Rishi, I've known you now for the last 4 or 5 years. So the way I have seen your journey, you started off as an employee, you've progressed into entrepreneurship or being self-employed, and then you've moved into mythology, maybe a little parallel, but yes, you kind of distinctly kept these three categories. So let us start off with the first category and your journey as an employee. So to start it off, were you always into training or did you like training? What really got you into training?
So to be honest, I was with ICICI Bank, and then I was with Bajaj Finance, and I loved my job. I will not lie that, मुझे मेरा job अच्छा नहीं लगा, and then I wanted to quit. It was nothing like this. To be honest,
Okay.
with grace of God, in fact, I was heading Bombay for ICICI Bank, and then for
Mhm.
Bajaj Finance for the particular,
Hmm.
department of their sales. So what happened is, in 2011, I was blessed with a daughter. You know,
Okay.
and that, and when I held my daughter for the first time in the hospital, the moment I held her, there was a thought that came to my mind, and the thought was, what do I give this girl beyond money? So that question stuck in my head, that what do I give this girl beyond money? पैसा तो दे दूंगा, उसके अलावा मैं इसको क्या दे सकता हूँ? And
Hmm.
then I started to think, and it took me a couple of months to come to a point that where I realized that, I want to give her a belief system where she can chase her dream, a belief system that whatever she wants to achieve, she can achieve. So that was
Okay.
my thought process. Now, but what happened was, the people who are from banking, they all will agree. In
Hmm.
banking, आपको मतलब, like सोने का time मिल जाए तो बहुत है. That's such a
Hmm.
it's a very tough life in banking, sales especially. The
Hmm.
month ends are tough, and all those things. So I didn't get time to think what I wanted to do.
Huh.
Second is, during that time I also realized, if I tell my daughter when she grows up that, beta, chase your dream, look at Sachin
Hmm.
Tendulkar, or look at a Lata Mangeshkar, or look at a Kapil
Hmm.
Dev, or something like this, I'm sure she would have told me, आपने क्या किए? You
Hmm.
worked in a corporate life and you're telling me to chase my dream. What was your dream?
Huh.
So, and that moment, when I got that thought in my moment, I'm not kidding, I'm not lying, I just put down my papers then and there in office. I didn't tell anyone at my home. I stay in a joint family of, 13 of us. I didn't tell my wife also that I put down my papers, and I didn't tell them for 3 months. Entire notice period, I used to go to office and come back home, because I was aware they will not allow me to leave the job. because it was a very good job, very nice payment. I was 30, 31. I was heading Bombay. So I was like, sure, I they will not allow it to. So that part uh, was very very tricky. So I don't but I was sure, so I want to quit. One day prior to my last day of my job, I sat with my wife and I told her that I've quit. Okay. And she was like, okay, ab kidhar ja raha hai? I said, good question. I have no clue. She's like, what are you saying? So I said, see, I'm very vulnerable right now. I'm really actually very vulnerable right now. But I'm telling you what I'm doing. Okay. I want to give a beliefs to a child that they can chase their dream. But I don't have a dream. I really don't have a vision for myself. I don't know what am I doing. I don't know what can I do. I have zero awareness about myself. The only thing I know, I'm good at sales. मैं जाके बेच के कुछ आ सकता हूँ. Mela, just hold me tonight. Just hold me tonight, because I'm really really tense right now, because tomorrow morning I have to go and tell my family. I have to tell the entire world I've quit my job having no clue. Just hold me tonight. I will pull off. But please don't ask me what am I going to pull off, by when I will pull off. The only thing you need to keep in mind is I want to pull it off for our kids, that they will
Okay.
believe in themselves. So it's going to be a very tough journey. It's going to be a very hard journey, because over here I need to first be sure what I want, and I really don't have a time frame. And see, for what happens now, when a man is clear in his head that he wants to do something, but it's unclear to the entire world, and if your wife is also not sure what your husband is doing, it's going to be tougher for her, because वो घर पे बैठने वाली है, मैं तो किधर किधर जाके कुछ ना कुछ तो कर लूंगा. So I said it's going to be more challenging for you. So if you can support me, I will work very hard, and I'll give you a platform where you will be proud of it that I've pulled it off. But that's the only thing I can do. And I thought अभी बहुत रामायण चालू होएगी, but she was more daring than me. She said जो होएगा देखा जाएगा, because I told her I'm 30 today. I have the physical energy, I have the mental strength to do something today, but after 10 years I don't think so I'll be in a position to take that risk. So that was it. And then obviously when I told my family, so obviously my family was like, my dad is like, kya baat kar raha hai, all the stuff. So all that filmy drama took place, obviously. But yeah, so then I had
So,
for a brief period joined my dad, as when you said entrepreneur, but I had no clue what I was doing there, honestly. So that
so
was
here
very tough.
actually this is a very interesting twist in your life, when we actually spoke about the fact that uh, how exactly did you, so to say, fine tune your decision? All right, that I'm sure is going to be a very interesting part for our viewers to know. What was that phase that actually got you into mythology, and what is it that uh, got you into the next phase in a very clear manner?
So what happened was, so 2011 when I, so karte karte 2012 is when I quit, because I was, still sick. After that, for 2 years, I think, or 2.5 years was the darkest phase of my life,
Okay.
emotionally, all aspects of my life, physically. It was the toughest phase of my life. I had no idea what was happening. I used to sit and cry. So it was the biggest battle of my life till date, between my mind, and between my thoughts, you can say that. It was really a tough battle, and I was still not able to figure it out. And one day, जब कहते हैं ना कि when you're ready, the things will happen. So my grandfather used to always tell me one thing. Then I'll tell you why I said this line. He said that the books, Bhagavad Gita, कोई रीडर भगवत गीता नहीं पढ़ता है, भगवत गीता रीडर को सिलेक्ट करती है. So no one can say that I have started reading Bhagavad Gita. The fact is Bhagavad Gita has selected that person. So that is, so I'll tell you why I said this line. Now what happened is, so 2013, one day my dad, told me to go and meet one of his clients at Vashi. So in Vashi, near the station, there's an In Orbit. In Orbit, there's a shop called Crossword. So I went over there, just to, sorry, I had gone to Vashi to meet his client, but the client said, मैं 2 घंटा मुझे भी लगेगा, I'm stuck somewhere. So if you want to come tomorrow. So I said, sir, I've come all the way from Bhiwandi. It's okay. I'll wait for you. You come. I'll kill time. I'll go to In Orbit and all the stuff. So when I went to In Orbit, I went to Crossword. And over there, I saw Bhagavad Gita CD. You know, and as you said, you know me for 4 5 years. I don't do shopping at all. I'm horrible at it. Even if I like anything, I never purchase anything for myself. So, but that was the only impulse purchase that I did. I don't know what attracted me. I just told that ये CD दे देना मेरे को. It was a Anup Jalota CD, and I purchased that CD. So then Again, going back to my dad's office for 1 year, frustrating, figuring what to do and how to do all this stuff. I used to hear that CD every day, complete
Mhm.
Bhagavad Gita every day. And for nearly 1 year, I heard that entire CD. मुझे वो CD by heart हो गई थी, you know. And 24/7 I was thinking. So I used to get a lot of ideas. ये करना है, ये करना है. But what I did was I used to sleep over those ideas for 3-4 days. Because I realized that I get an idea. So let's say because I was from loan industry. So let's say open a DSA. तो DSA open कर दो. But फिर 2-3 दिन मैं सोता था कि after 3-4 days do I still have the passion for it? Because this is not something that I can play around. ये job नहीं है, ये मेरा career है, मेरी life है. And I will not get couple of opportunities right now. It's make it or break it right now. So I wanted to be very sure. So those then going through that, hearing that CD for a year and all, one night, I got up with the thought, in the middle of the night, I got up with the thought, like it was like whatever way you want to express it, call it and all, that, Rishi, get into Indian mythology. That moment, I took that leap of faith. I said, अब ये तो ऊपर वाले का इशारा है या आत्मा का इशारा है, I will have to become an Indian mythologist. Next day, I told my wife I want to get into Indian mythology. I told my dad, उनको लगा ये तो गया, मतलब पहले तो नौकरी भी छोड़ दिया, नाम भी ऋषि है, अभी हरे रामा हरे कृष्णा, ये तो मतलब इसका तो फुल प्लान है, भी मतलब सब छोड़ छाड़ के जाने का. So but I said, this is what I want to get into it. And then obviously they were asking, अच्छा एक बात बता, इसमें करेगा क्या? Well, another good question. I have no clue. But now you'll have to give me 1 year. 1 year I'm not going to do anything. 1 year I have to figure out very quickly what I want to do. So I that 1 year, I actually read a lot of books. I met a lot of people. I attended a lot of sessions. I also, got associated with ITC at that time, and then AOT, Sham Ayer, MBT. I was exploring a lot of stuff, and that is where I got a clarity, that if I want to get into Indian mythology, I have to be very thorough, because the audience will not, give me an excuse कि इसको तो आता ही नहीं है, कुछ भी question पूछो गोल घुमाता है. So then 2 years I again did nothing. Voluntary I did nothing. And I just studied books. I just prepared modules, because I was sure that corporate will give me one chance. I was 100% sure. कोई ना कोई friend को बोलूँगा, वो दे तो देगा opportunity. But how do I deliver now? That is what is important. So then 2 years I just prepared myself. So actually, honestly, if you see from 2012 to 2015, I technically did nothing in life, but I was so whatever you can imagine, the challenges a human being would face of not working, I have gone through everything. So it could be all aspects of life. But then I was sure at the end that, this is a challenge. This is my chakra view. It is not going to be easy, but if I can figure it out, and, then it would be, a very easy ride for me later on. And then after that, then, yeah, it started.
So actually here now, if I had to look at it, see, you've taken a very, what do you say? It was a rather logical way of looking at things when you actually decided to sleep over your ideas. Do you really see that happening with trainers? Because today, many trainers, uh, we leave our jobs in the hope that, yes, we are going to make a difference. All right. And I'm sure many of us do that.
Correct.
Let's leave our job. It's not really fulfilling. Let me go make a difference to the world. And then when you leave, and then you sit down, okay, now, what do I do? Because many people are lost the moment they step out of the corporate. Right? They don't know now what, where do we go? So just the way you've taken this one step of, sitting, thinking and sleeping over the ideas. I mean, do you see another approach that you feel that, yes, this can also work out for trainers?
See, honestly, I'll tell you, going back to the statement that you said that, trainers would like to add, make a difference to the other person's life. Honestly, I don't think so. I do that. I don't have the intention also. When I go for a session, I tell them that, I'm going to present my thoughts. Agar aapko kuch acha laga to good, fair enough, because my intention is to improve myself first. Therefore, I don't like the term trainer only. Am I, a perfect guy? I'm not. I've got so many vices. I'm imperfect myself. So let me improve myself. But I share my thoughts. I share my original thoughts. I share my interpretation of the books that I've read. And somehow if they feel good, relate to it, and then it's fair enough. So I will never ever go with the intention कि मेरे को आज इसकी life में कुछ changes लाने. मैं कौन हूँ भाई? मैं अपनी लाइफ में पहले ले तो बहुत बड़ी बात है. So my mindset is totally different. So I will never impose my thoughts on them. In fact, I'll tell you, my one of my line that I always
Hmm.
use in a session is, I always say in the session, okay, every story, every incident has got three truth. It's mentioned in Shiv Puran. It has got
Hmm.
three truth: your truth, my truth, real truth. No one speaks the real truth. Everyone speaks the truth that they believe is the truth. But important is learning. Okay. अब इसमें एक बार मैं आपको, why did I say that line? Now I was taking a session on Bhagavad Gita. Okay,
Hmm.
and there was a massive crowd. I think like 450, 500 people were there. And then one of the head who hired me, and I was explaining one point, and after my explanation got over, he told me, Rishi, I think this point could actually mean this also. I said, I agree, sir. He's like, sorry. I said, I totally agree with you. He said, but you just explained. No, sir, I told you earlier, my truth, your truth, real truth. Important is learning. You learn. Now, that is more important. You learn from me or you learn from yourself. That's insignificant. So my
Hmm.
intention is you learn. Now, you can learn from yourself also.
Okay.
So my thought was different. Second, yes, I see, couple of trainers who do that. But, yeah, but it will be a very small percentage because a lot of time, अब होता क्या ना, honestly, ऐसा इंडस्ट्री में मैंने एक लाइन सुनी थी, जिसको कुछ नहीं आता वो ट्रेनर बन जाता है. कि हम सब दुनिया को सुधारने चले, हम सब करने लगे. So but I think you should spend time with yourself first. You should
Okay.
genuinely know yourself. Hello. Yeah. So I think you should spend time with yourself. A lot of trainers want to earn money. Even I want to earn money, I don't say that, but money आएगा, पहले आप खुद तो समझ लो. And once you are in that zone, once you're in that, I feel, like there's so many trainers I've learned from. Let's say like Sham Iyer, I've learned a lot, or Arun sir, I have learned a lot, or Yatin also have learned. There are so many trainers I've learned, but I never saw them that they're forcing that I want to make an impact in your life. They're sharing their thoughts. बाजू वाले को जो अच्छा लगा लेके चला गया. So I think I was groomed by a couple of good trainers, at my start. So I think trainers should do that. They should not get into the argument mode, because मेरे साथ भी कई trainers करते हैं, कि ऐसा करना चाहिए, तो जो करना है कर, because it eats its own. But you should be in that zone of understanding yourself first. Spend time over there.
So, although you are in this space right now of freelancing, uh,
Hmm.
what would you consider yourself? A teacher or a businessman?
So honestly, I don't know if I'm a businessman, but I have a business sense.
Okay.
I'll say that I have a business sense, because what happens, passion without money does not make any sense. मुझे घर भी चलाना है, मेरे को घर पे भी है, खर्चे होते हैं, खुद का भी खर्चा होता है. अभी जैसे अगर अगर पुराने जमाने में देखते तो गुरु दक्षिणा गुरु भी लेता था, उसको भी तो घर चलाना है. So
Hmm.
but yes, I will never lose a work because of money also. So I'll be very clear on that aspect. I have never lost a job or a project because of
Assignment.
money assignment, never ever in my life. Never ever. Only once when I started. Yeah, I remember only once. After that, never I've lost because of money. It cannot happen only. So how do I handle that? Something we can discuss next time. But
Okay.
what I do is that I understand I have to run a company. We have empaneled with 28 trainers across India. I have to ensure that people also have to work. One of my professor, Hansel D'Souza, he gave me nice advice when I started as a freelancer, because in those 2 years I met a lot of people, not
Mhm.
only from a trainer's perspective but also from a business perspective. And he was also a freelance trainer. So he told me, and he shared one of his biggest learning. He said that Rishi, till the time you don't hire people, now you will not grow. You need to hire people, because their salary has to be dependent on you. जब दूसरों का घर तेरी वजह से चलेगा ना, तो भाग के और काम करेगा. So he said that the mistake I have done is that I was very happy with the income that I was earning, and I would try to
Mhm.
scale it up, because the scaling up has its own challenges. But he said, now
True.
I'm 60, and I think somewhere I should have done that. So I think
Mm.
you should do that. Take a call when it comes. So that was one thing that I did. Second input that I got from a passenger, I'm sure like you would also do that. I
Mm.
keep talking to a lot of passenger strangers, और मैं तो बेशरम जैसे advice भी मांग लेता हूँ, especially if I'm going to Gujarat. Those Gujarati Marwadi guys are brilliant at giving advice. So one of the Gujarati guy asked him, sir, you're a businessman, any advice for me? I've just started off and all. So yeah, he asked me, तुम क्या करते हो? I explained him everything. Then he told me कि बेटा जब तक तेरे पास पैसा देने का जिगर नहीं होएगा ना, तब तक तू पैसा कमाएगा भी नहीं. I was like, good advice. I didn't understand, but I was
Mm.
very clear. मेरे को समझा ही नहीं what do you mean by this. So
Huh.
he said what happens is, so let's say for example, if you do not empanel people, so let's say you're
True.
earning 100 rupees. Till the
Mhm.
time you don't have the courage to give 70 rupees to someone, you will keep earning that 100 rupees. Maximum that you will earn is 3,000 rupees in a month. because maximum 30 days we can deliver. He said, when you give
Correct.
70 rupees to someone and then you go and deliver, now that is the day you'll earn 130 rupees. Now that clarity I got, at the start of my career, so I got a lot of inputs by a lot of people. So therefore I said, I'm not a businessman, but I have a business sense. I will take a call because I need to scale it up also. It's not only for myself, but other people can also, we all work together, collaborate together. We both have also done a workshop together, so I always do that. I always look at for projects where we can collaborate with trainers, so business sense is there.
So, so there's one question that I always wanted to ask you. Uh, During your transition phase, you've done a lot of reading.
Yeah.
Any book that you would say which has particularly helped define your uh, career move, or maybe just inspired you to do something?
I said that Bhagavad Gita. It
Okay.
transformed me. It changed me completely. Because to be honest, a lot of trainers, and rightly, I'm not, belittling or like looking down to them. They're brilliant trainers who will take a lot of Western concepts and explain a lot of complex things to participants. But
Mm-hmm.
trust me, I've never had to go out, go beyond the books. Last 6 years,
Okay.
I don't recall I've read even a management book, you know. But I've read most of the, books that are accessible, and I found all those theories, all those concepts in a book also, but in a
Hmm.
story format, And every trainer has their own belief. One of my belief is that, participants do not remember technical points. They remember stories, they remember examples, they remember concept activities, and the discussion
Very
that
true.
takes place. So I'm a storyteller. You give me any model. It could be a golden circle, it could be a skill wheel matrix, it could be, cash cow. You give me any concept, I will pick
Hmm.
up a story from our epics, I will pick up a story from our history, and I will explain that concept. So that concept is then forever in their mind. So a lot of my I'm sure you guys also have this experience. So a lot of my participants who are like, attended a session 7 years ago, also they are in touch with me. Now because
Hmm.
of social media, like there's a Facebook, there's a WhatsApp, there's an Insta, and they keep connecting. And a lot of time I get a text from them, sir, ye story dekhi the aapki yaad aa gayi. Sir, ye episode dekha aapki yaad aa gayi. Sir, ye concept dekha aapki yaad aa gayi. Because those stories will remain with them.
Hmm.
So for me, initially it was Bhagavad Gita, but then later on, all the epics that have been.
But
And
how do you actually manage to correlate the two? I mean, so I'm looking at it from the point that if I am a fresher, all right, uh, does it make sense for me to say that, okay, I'm just going to read the Bhagavad Gita and I'll be able to correlate? Now, in order to correlate between corporate and your specialty, all right,
hmm,
you have to have some common bridge. Maybe your experience or expertise or exposure to corporate life gave you that kind of understanding that, okay, I understand the concepts. This is what is actually working in the spiritual world. So I don't know, is that what something that helped you?
so I think, when you I think it has to do more with my upbringing also. So when I was in 12th standard, I remember my dad told us, and he made us work, the summer vacations between the 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked at Max Touch also वो time पे, SIM card के लिए, door to door selling. Then I worked with some agency where I used to go and sell products door to door. I worked at McDonald's also. So we have worked at, because my dad was very clear, and he told us that जो चीज तुमको जिंदगी सिखाएगी ना वो कोई किताब नहीं सिखा सकती है. And then I have also spoken to a lot of people. When I said those 3-4 years I've spoken, so when I'm around with people, I talk to them, and I listen to them very carefully. I try to understand the experience that are there. And then I think it's grace of God, Saraswati का आशीर्वाद है, भगवान का आशीर्वाद है, that lot of time people ask a question और वो आंसर मेरे मुंह से निकलता, मुझे पता भी नहीं चलता मैंने कैसे बोल दिया, and then I say thank you God बचा लिया, तो ऐसा भी हुआ है मेरे साथ. But I think those 3 years taught me a lot, because
Hmm.
going to the extreme down, as good as, to a lowest level where you have all those negative thoughts and then coming back. So life has taught me a lot of aspects, especially the emotion aspect. And I feel that uh, when you read these books, you connect yourself, you connect your experience. And I don't know how, but whatever I've read till date, I always somehow or the other I've got those experience in my life, that I've gone through that phase. Good also, brilliant also, stage is there, but there have been times when it was down and out, so.
So I guess so. One learning that I would take, I guess, it's while mythology being your area of expertise and reading has helped you a lot. I guess we can also correlate this point of continuous reading,
Yeah, yeah.
which helps you to, which helps you get out of any situation.
Yeah.
Like it's not something that we can actually say that, okay, I learned this and I'm going to remove everything. It's about you constantly read, you constantly upgrade, and then eventually all these things come to the back of your mind, to your fingertips the moment it's needed.
Correct. So, I'll share a very small story. We'll have
Mm-hmm.
a quick interaction. So, I'll give you so how these stories have helped me. So
Mm-hmm.
what you said now is a brilliant point. But let's say, I'll share a very small story that took place in Ramayana. Okay. So, let's
Uh-huh.
say you're Lord Rama. Okay. Just for the, role play type, you're Lord Rama. Now, over there, there's this sage called Vishwamitra who goes to King Dashrath and tells him कि मुझे राम की आवश्यकता है ताड़का को मारने के लिए. So ताड़का is a
Mm-hmm.
demon, okay? And वो ताड़का
Mm-hmm.
मरीच की माँ, मरीच रावण का मामा, so big, it's like a
Ah.
global terrorist, okay? So
Mm-hmm.
now King Dashrath is like, Ram is only 16 years old. वो एक छोटा सा बच्चा है, आपको चाहिए तो मैं चलता हूँ, आपको चाहिए मेरी सेना आएगी, okay? आप राम को छोड़ दीजिए. So now over there Vishwamitra says, मुझे सिर्फ राम की आवश्यकता. I need only Rama. You can give Rama, you can't give Rama, you tell me, I'll go away. So there's another sage, Vashisht, who's like a Kul Guru, the family guru, and he tells, Maharaj Dashrath that, Vishwamitra himself was a great warrior. If he wants, he can kill Tadka like this. I think it's a good time and a platform for Rama to go and learn from Vishwamitra all the mantras, all the shastras, like on-the-job training, practical training. So you should
Mm-hmm.
send him. So he'll take care of Ram. So Dashrath is convinced finally. Okay? So he tells, the Guru Vishwamitra ko, sir, you please go and rest in the room. I'll send Ram. ठीक है, आप आराम करो, थोड़ी देर में आपके कक्ष में मैं राम को भेजता हूँ. Now, let's say you are Rama. Okay, you come, you knock the door because you're outside. I'm sitting inside. I'm Guru Vishwamitra. Okay, now you knock the door. I'm sitting inside. I'm asking, "Kaun hai?" What will you reply?
So as far as I remember, all these epics, it was always मैं दशरथ पुत्र हूँ.
Correct. मैं दशरथ पुत्र रामा. Okay. So a lot of time, everyone will say कि मैं राम हूँ, दशरथ पुत्र, रामा हूँ, Prince of Ayodhya हूँ. You know what Rama said? गुरुदेव, हम यही जानने आए हम कौन हैं. हम यही जानने हम कौन है. And Vishwamitra says inside, लगता है राम आ गया. Now what happened over here was, like, such a small, but I really found this, an eye opener for me, that look at Rama. He's not using his designation. He's not saying, boss, मैं राम हूँ. बॉस, मैं अयोध्या का प्रिंस हूँ, दशरथ का बेटा हूँ, तुमने मेरे को बुलाया है तारका को मारने के लिए. No use of designation, nothing, or humble and gratitude that you called me. You tell me what am I supposed to do. So over there I realized that he's open for learning. Rama is open for learning. तो मैं कौन हूँ? मैं तो राम के पैर की धूल भी नहीं हूँ. Who am I to stop learning? And in the entire life, it could be Ram, Krishna, Arjun, and all these guys now, they never stop learning. Because the day we stop learning, we are finished. We are genuinely finished. So now I'll give you a simple another 21st century example. वरना आपको लगेगा वैसे राम के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ. तो let's say आपके पास मोबाइल फोन है, करेक्ट, स्मार्टफोन है,
Correct.
उसके अंदर ऐप है. वो ऐप कितने टाइम में अपडेट होता है?
Maybe a fortnight or a month.
Let's say 1 month. Okay, so let's say for example you download a new app, you start using the app, you're very happy with the services of the app, you're enjoying all the services of the app, but after a month or so you realize there's no update available. वो app का update available ही नहीं है. You try to force update, there's no update available. Now after a month, so let's say 2 months have passed, now your interest towards that app, will it increase, remain the same, or decrease?
Eventually, I guess it would die out.
It will die out, correct? Then what will you do?
Maybe just uninstall it.
Correct. And you'll try to find an alternate. Correct. Now look at human beings. We are ready to uninstall an app in 2 months if it's not updated, and we want the client or the corporate to give me promotion and more money if we are not updated. How does it work? It does not work. I need to be updated. If I stop updating myself, some other trainer will come and take my position. So I keep these thoughts in my mind, and every day, I prepare a module, either I read a book, either I work on my previous modules which I have delivered, but I need to sharpen my saw. Otherwise, I think I'll be dead, or I'll be dead.
That's a beautiful point that you brought out. So tell me one thing, as a vendor, all right, not as a trainer, as a vendor, what is your biggest challenge that you face right now with your trainers?
So, honestly, I've been blessed. I got a lot of good trainers. I don't think so. I can recall also that, I had some bad experiences, except a couple of them. But I'll tell you 2-3 things. What has happened is a lot of time now. So trainers also try to act smart. That has also happened. So what happened is that we will go, we'll take them for a project, we'll make them, give them the data, content, whatever and all.
Mm-hmm.
And after delivering, okay, so it has been with one trainer, with, then they try to be directly in touch with the client, okay,
Hmm.
and they will make us feel that the client is in touch with them, but they forget the
Okay.
point, तो client तो मेरा ही है, तो
Hmm.
हमको तो पता चल जाता है कि कौन टच में है, किसके थ्रू टच में है. So
Hmm.
that has happened with me once. So then, so I'm being very careful with that. But end में क्या होता है, if they want to take, they can take. You can take one client, but you cannot
Hmm.
take other clients also. छोटे मोटे आते हैं, but at time the trainer is has just started, and then they don't understand the business cycle only. So once I had a trainer, matlab, session, though I have a empaneled form, I give them the terms
Hmm.
and conditions in writing, if this is expected,
हाँ.
this is the grooming expected out of you, this is the payment terms, everything is given in writing,
Hmm.
and they agree, yes yes yes, सब कर देते हैं. अब वो बंदा आया, सेशन देके बाहर, फीडबैक सब हो गया, 6 o'clock the session got over, 6:05 he called me and saying, ऋषि पैसा कब मिलेगा. मैं बोला आपने पैनल फॉर्म पढ़ा भी है. मतलब हाउ कैन यू से, मतलब व्हाट आर यू सेइंग, मैंने इट बीन टोल्ड टू यू, दैट दिस इज द डेट वी रिलीज द मनी.
हाँ.
वो तो नो नो नो, आई तो जस्ट सेड यस लाइक दिस, ओवर एक्साइटमेंट में काम आ गया. मतलब भाई ऐसे नहीं कर सकते हो, यू हैव टू रीड एन एग्रीमेंट, हाउ कैन यू जस्ट से यस टू एन एग्रीमेंट, सो आई थिंक
हाँ.
दोस आर हिलेरियस, अदरवाइज नथिंग मेजर, सो
Okay.
नथिंग मेजर, या नथिंग मेजर.
So, as an individual freelancer and as, okay, let's leave the vendor as part aside, as a freelance trainer, now generally, uh, quite a number of trainers do depend a lot on vendor business only. All right.
Correct.
Currently, we are in a state of shock, so to say, because B2B business has kind of slowed down.
Okay.
How do you think, because whenever I interact with you, I've always got to know that, okay, some session or the other is going on. So what is the secret behind you still on a continuous roll?
Sorry, I lost you in between. I didn't.
Okay,
So
so now
when you said that, I lost you over there when you said that, so B2B businesses slow down. So
yeah,
it was
it
a shock.
slowed down.
Yeah.
And but whenever I interact with you, I've got to know that, okay, something or the other is going on. So I am assuming here that unlike many trainers who are right now kind of in a very limbo kind of situation, you still managed to retain your B2B business or even B2C for that matter. So how did you manage going about that? Network issue? Did
I
you
think
get it?
I think so. What I recollect, I'll just paraphrase what I understood is that
Uh-huh.
I'm somehow able to retain B2B and B2C customers. Correct? That's what.
Yes. How do you
What
manage that in
correct.
these times?
Correct. So what happens is, बचपन में हमने सुना था, बचपन में हमने सीखा था, don't put all the eggs in one basket. I was very clear when I started business that I will never put all the eggs in one basket. I was 100% clear about it, and I had to work extra hard for that. So what happens is I work under certain verticals. One is where I have vendors, I work for them, and they get clients, and I represent them. Second is I've got direct clients where I go and deliver. Third is where I've got clients where my trainers will go and deliver. So I'm very clear. So there are some clients where I will not go, my trainers will go. There are some modules what I will not deliver, my trainers will deliver, because जब तक पैसा देने का जिगर नहीं आएगा, पैसा आएगा नहीं. So you have to take a step back to take a leap. So something like this. So I have always maintained this. In fact, just to share, I don't know if it makes any sense or no, but my MIS management, my Excel MIS management is very, very strong. This I learned in ICICI. जब तक आपको you don't know your numbers, how will you grow in life? So every year,
Perfect.
every quarter, every month, every week I sit on my numbers, and I keep that maintaining. Last week कितना हुआ, last month कितना हुआ, कितना business दिया, कौन से client ने business कम किया, because it is the MIs that will tell you whether the client is working with you or no. So if there was, so I have a percentage myself. If this percentage drops down, that means the client has got another trainer for you. For in place of you. So I never ever did that. Second is what happens is, as you rightly said, this is one of the concerns that I have seen, that a lot of trainers now, they don't like to sell themselves. But I feel that I'm not a trainer. Therefore, I told you earlier, but I have a business sense. अगर मैं अपने आप को नहीं बेचूंगा तो मुझे कोई क्यों बेचेगा? I don't stop marketing myself. I don't stop selling myself. Now, this is, I could be because of Bajaj or ICICI experience that I have. बेचना पड़ता है तो वो हिसाब से. But I don't stop my marketing. Like today also, I had 2-3 workshops to deliver, but still I will do marketing, because it cannot stop. It just cannot stop. How can I stop marketing? If I stop today, मुझे उसका भुगतान 4 महीने के बाद करना पड़ेगा. So for me, there are
Mhm.
certain things that will go hand in hand. So that is what I feel. And this time also, like I remember you called me a couple of days back and said, Rishi, तेरे पास काम कैसे है? मैं बोला ऊपर वाले का आशीर्वाद है. But the point is, you have to be agile. You have to be very quick
Hmm.
to anticipate. The day coronavirus started hitting, I anticipated very quickly, this is going to happen. Today or tomorrow lockdown होएगा. अगर वुहान में हो तो इधर भी होएगा. So,
Hmm.
and I'm sure a lot of people were aware of it. So at that time when I started designing modules for online, before the
Hmm.
lockdown, I was ready. These modules have to go. And the moment it was declared lockdown, the following Monday, I did 3 sessions in a day where 50 people were there in each batch. So I was
Okay.
very clear with it that this has to click and this has to happen before someone else. Because one thing I've always learned is that first mover advantage hota hai. Now I approach those clients
True.
before any of the other trainers could do, and I got the business. And my clients also say that, Rishi, your speed of delivery is very fast. It's not that what I speak, but I commit and I
Hmm.
go and deliver. For some people, I'm like a man Friday. कि यार
Hmm.
ऋषि 4 दिन के बाद ट्रेनिंग है. तो मैंने हाँ ठीक है परसों है क्या कल सुबह भी मैंने जाके डिलीवर किया. Because they know there's someone they can bank on. So
हाँ.
if my dates are available, you tell me tomorrow morning, I'll go and deliver also. I'll work the entire night. So that agility is very important. I cannot have a fixed mindset कि मुझे धंधा ऐसे ही करना है. And I've been very
Hmm.
creative also. Like it's not only on Zoom, webinar, WhatsApp, a lot of stuff we keep doing that. So, and like most other trainers, like again, I'm learning from everyone. But then yeah, you learn from some, and then उसको
Hmm.
ऐसा भुर्जी बनाओ कि आप ही का नाम आ जाता है. बस वैसे ही है.
So, how long has it taken you to scale up from one man to 28 trainers empaneled with Nibesh?
So, see, first 2-3 years, I consciously did not empanel anyone, because I
Okay.
wanted to understand, what kind of delivery needs to be done, what kind of topics we can deliver, I can deliver. I need to learn those topics also. Because let's say, for example, if I, empanel with Elroy and I tell him that, Elroy, you have to take a decision making workshop, and I only don't know, तो
Hmm.
मैं क्या आपको guide करूंगा. So what
True.
I did was, I worked on a lot of modules, to be honest. Elroy, I worked on a lot of
Hmm.
modules before I started actually even going to the clients also. Before going to
Okay.
the clients also. So when I said that, once I evolved, I not evolved is the wrong word. When I realized that I want to become a mythologist, or I want to become, a trainer. So then if you remember, I told you, then 2 years I did not work. But those two
Hmm.
years, I read books, I prepared modules. I prepared roughly around 18 modules, from the approach note to the presentation to the videos to the audio to the activities, by attending sessions, because I was sure, I will get one chance and then I have to scale it up. After
Hmm.
that 1.5 year, again, I delivered a lot of topics again and again, repetitive. I think 2018 is when we started to empanel people. So I gave 3 years, and after that, God has been kind. So एक से दूसरा दूसरा तीसरा सब चलने लग गया. But and most of the trainers all are collaborative mindset that. So at times they represent my company and at times I represent their company. तो उसमें कुछ ego नहीं है. और
Hmm.
तुम बोला तो मैं आ जाऊंगा, मेरे को कुछ नहीं करना है. तो पैसा पैसा है, घर चलाना है हमको. तो ऐसे कुछ नहीं कि तुम मेरे लिए काम करते हो तो मैं नहीं करूंगा, मैं बिंदास चला जाऊंगा. There's nothing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So now let's get into the third phase of your
Correct.
entire journey, and that is the mythologist segment of Rishi's life.
Hmm.
So, of course, tell me now, for a 30-year-old to get into the market and approach clients and tell them, okay, I am now a mythologist. I would like to
Hmm.
do a session on Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana and Mahabharata. How easy was it? And if at all it was difficult, what was your biggest challenge at that time?
To be honest, it's I don't think so it's only for mythology. Anything that you want to do which is different, which is not common, so
Mhm.
you'll have your own challenges. Today we all look up to the success of a Bill Gates or a Steve Jobs and all, but when they started, I'm sure they also had their own challenges. It's not that easy.
True.
Even let's say like Atif also, like Learners Conclave, I read the article, which saw that video, sorry, of Arvind, where he said that, chalu kiyega to kitna tough tha. So everyone has got their own challenges. But the challenge for me was, in between came religion. And that
Mhm.
became a big challenge for me, to be honest. It became a real big challenge. So I had my modules ready, I had everything ready. And when I approached clients, so they said, yeah, religion क्या कर रहे हैं, we are like secular, we don't want to get into this and all. It took me a year and a half, to get my first client on mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think again over there, I was blessed, I was blessed with a lot of good friends, colleagues who gave me good advice. So one of my friend, Abhinav Srivastav, my college friend, he gave me an advice. He said, "Rishi, एक काम कर, तू normal training तो ले ले, जो
Mm-hmm.
कम्युनिकेशन है, डिसीजन मेकिंग है, टीम बिल्डिंग है, वो सब तो ले, एक बार कंपनी के अंदर तो घुस जा, एंड देन probably they will like you, they'll see your work, they'll understand because what you're trying to pitch in requires a lot of trust of people on you, that you are not going to go on stage and create it into a movement or something, or it will become a religious stage over there and all. So I understood his point, so that is where I started doing, और थोड़ा करके बेचता रहता था. So earlier clients took time, vendors also took time, but now grace of God, they approach, they call, they say, because they have seen the power of story, they've realized that how we focus on the learning, we then it all started over there. But just to add, Elroy, I don't know if it answers your question, but I always believed in myself, and I always believed in the concept of storytelling, and I really believed in the concept of epics. So what happened is, once I started working out of the blue, and I started working day in day night. I clearly remember it was 2016, if I'm not wrong, 17, 18, 19, 2016, okay,
Mm-hmm.
December somewhere, uh, 2017 January, sorry, 2017 January. I did not sleep for 3 nights. I just slept 2 hours, and I was working on a program called Management Lesson from Mahabharata. You know, and I remember my wife was checked with me, and she said that, what's wrong with you? You're not sleeping, because I was just focused on preparing that module. It was because for me, it was, I don't know why, I just got that high of creating that module. She said, what are you doing? मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक बहुत बड़ा प्रोग्राम आने वाला है. She said, किसी ने कोई कमिटमेंट दिया है, क्योंकि कोई बेट दिया है. मैंने नहीं. I said, but I think that I'm going to get a platform which I have not even visualized, which I have not even, dreamt of. But I think it will be on Mahabharata, and I need to be ready. I don't know why I cannot sleep, because the moment I close my eyes, I always see these characters in front of me. And another 2 days, so I worked 5 days in a row. And another 2 days, I was working on that project. The day that project was ready, next day, I got a call. Okay. Now look at the relationship. My wife's cousins, वो साइड का cousin की wife, मतलब कोई relation ही नहीं है. Okay. And she called me and she said that, she had to introduce herself कि मैं कौन हूँ. मैं okay. And I said, okay, भाभी, tell me. बोले कि my mentor saw your video on YouTube, and she wants to hire you to deliver a session on Mahabharata to 1,000 students. But the challenge is you have to deliver it next week. And I said, I'm ready for it. आप मेरे को मिलाओ. And that is how it started, And then I've been going there to that college, Sri Balaji Society, for every year for last 3 years. This year again we are doing it, and we train students on Mahabharata, every 1,000 students every year. So I think that somewhere my belief that it will happen, it should happen, it was very strong. So if I can take another 1 minute to explain, I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm running out of time, but there was this very beautiful story that takes place in Indian mythology or ancient Indian history, whatever you want to call it. उसके अंदर एक समुद्र मंथन होता है. इन समुद्र मंथन में क्या होता है कि देवास और असुरास are churning the sea, and so a lot of articles come out of it. So over there, one of the article that comes out is zehar. Vasuki, जो snake होता है, जो शिवा का लोग लेते हैं to churn the mountain. Vasuki gets really irritated, and then he just vomits out of the entire zehar over there. अब जहर तो आ गया, करेक्ट. अब वो जहर लेगा कौन? वो भोलेनाथ आके ले लेते हैं, शिवा लेते हैं, उनको यहाँ पे अटकाते, नीलकंठ का नाम मिलता है, और अंत में निकलता है अमृत. माई फर्म बिलीफ इन लाइफ इज, अमृत जो है वो जहर के बाद ही मिलता है. वो जहर पहले पीना पड़ेगा, वो जहर को एडजस्ट करना पड़ेगा. वो जहर भी जो है माँ पार्वती ने में गले में अटकाया, कंठ में अटकाया. वाई? क्योंकि ना वो जहर दिमाग में गया, ना वो जहर हृदय में गया. वो जहर ऐसी जगह पे अटका कि वो जुबान पे भी ना आ पाया. तो तुमको लाइफ जो भी चीजें सिखाएगी, learn from that experiences, but don't take it to your heart, and do not take it to your head, because then only it will come to your mouth. So whenever you have an opportunity, so whenever I go down in life, or whenever things go wrong in life, I always tell myself, बेटा ये जहर का फेज है, इसको हैंडल कर ले, अमृत इसके बाद ही आने वाला है. बिकॉज success will come after grinding only, so I'm a firm believer of that, so when things go wrong, I just keep telling myself this, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
So just to take it on from this point that you mentioned, that a video of yours actually drew your first line of business into
Major.
schools or
Yeah, yeah,
education.
yeah, yeah, true.
So what exactly is, or rather, what is the role that social media has played for you? And because I see a lot of posts and all that keep coming up, do
Correct.
you manage to do all that on your own? Is that my question?
So see, there's another story to it. So if you have heard of the Bollywood actor called Govinda, I learned this from Govinda. So when I was a small kid now, so Govinda, and this is a very popular story. There's no
Hmm.
rocket science, so it's not a secret. And Govinda has spoken about this on n number of platforms. He said that when he was struggling, and he used to
Hmm.
go and meet the producers, तो उसमें क्या होता था, प्रोड्यूसर लोग उनको एक एक घंटा बिठा के रखते थे, दो दो घंटा बिठा के रखते थे,
Hmm.
चार चार घंटा बिठा के रखते थे, और आके कहते थे, अरे यार मैं थक गया, तू कल आ. So then Govinda thought, and this is, I'm talking early 80s. Okay, so what Govinda did was he prepared a video where he's delivering his dialogue, he's dancing, he's doing all those acting and all the stuff and all, and he made multiple cassettes. Okay, and then he used to drop it off for every producer. तो बोलते जहाँ पे एक एक दिन लग जाता था, दो दो दिन लग जाता था, मैं एक ही दिन में 10 प्रोड्यूसर के उधर जाने लग गया. And he said that when producers saw that, it clicked. So in
Hmm.
2014, when I realized that I want to get into training, I was
Hmm.
sure that people would want to see what I do. You know, if I talk about Lord Krishna, if I talk about Bhagavad Gita, if I talk about Vishnu Puran, Shiv Puran, Bhagavatam, Ramayan, and all those Jesus, or it could be also Lord Buddha, Lord Mahavir, they would want to see me. So, ये बात क्या करता है? That is how I will gain confidence. So Elroy, what I did was in 2014, again in those 2 years of where I was
Hmm.
preparing myself, I called a couple of my friends, couple of my cousins, and I gave them a presentation of 6 hours. And I told them, give me in writing. And I videotaped it. I said, give me in writing where I need to improve. Rip me apart today. Rip me
Hmm.
apart. If you think pace, pitch, voice tone, modulation, everything, now rip me apart, but give me in writing. I want to know the points that I need to work on.
Hmm.
One of my cousin and it was a 6 hour presentation, and one of my cousin
Hmm.
after 20 minutes is telling me, Rishi, can I have one more page? I said, पीछे लिख दे. बोलते खत्म हो गया लिख के. मैंने इतना so but then I and overall I think they gave me 78 or 79 points they gave me, but for me that became like a roadmap. This is what I need to improve on.
Hmm.
Then I worked on those points, and after that again I called I called a I delivered a paid session, my first open workshop, and I video
Hmm.
recorded it. And
Okay.
over there it started turning. So the power of social media I realized in 2013 14, to be honest, 14 I realized.
Hmm.
So there was this quote of Robin Sharma. It helped me a lot. He said that if you have a goal, if you have a dream, if you have a vision, take a
Hmm.
single step every day towards that goal. Every single day, take a single step. It could be a physical step, it could be virtual, it could be a thought process, it could be creative, it could be anything, but take a step towards your goal. After 1 year you have taken 365 steps. Now your
Hmm.
goal is a reality, and I kept that in mind. Then I worked on social media. I made my pages, I made LinkedIn, every page, Twitter,
Hmm.
Insta, YouTube, everything. Then I
Hmm.
started to make content for that, write blogs for that. So now I must have written a blog, I guess, more than 2 years ago, but every month still now I've got 2000 views because I picked up the correct questions over there, which had maximum followers. I made videos, I still make videos. But earlier, coming to your point, I could manage it on my own. I could edit
Hmm.
also, I could do it. But later on I realized that when you start, your when you start doing when you reach a scale, and you want to move
Hmm.
ahead now, you need a
Hmm.
team. So I got a
True.
very sweet team with, who work with them. So there's Gaurav who works with me, Shristi who works with me, there's Rupak who works with me, with me in the sense we all work, on a freelancer basis, but we all work. Then there's Yash who does that video recording, they do the editing, they do my marketing and all. So they all help me, so because everything I cannot do. So again, going back, पैसा देने का जिगर नहीं आएगा, पैसा आएगा नहीं. So earlier, time and money are, it's a beautiful relationship they have. Both are important and we need to save both. But then we need to decide what is more important. Earlier, I
True.
had a lot of time. I didn't have money. So I used to do it on my own. Today,
Hmm.
grace of God, I'm in a position that I have some money that I can give it to people and I can save my time. But I save
Hmm.
my time not to chill, but to work on some other aspect. So I said, so that
Hmm.
is how I do. But now I got people working, so someone will take care of my account, someone will take care of my billing, someone will take care of my content, someone will take care of my marketing, advertising. So
Okay.
it's all split over there. Yeah. So we got a back
Lovely.
end team to do that.
So in the last segment, let's move to your book, which is very proudly displayed at the back, Break Your Leadership Chakraview.
Yeah.
Tell us something about that. I mean, in the midst of all that you do, and I'm sure there are hundreds of things that you do, how did you get into becoming an author? And how does being an author help you?
So, what happens is that I believe, there are two, I could be wrong, I could be 100% wrong, but this is my
Mm-hmm.
understanding, my belief. One is I will write a book, so that I just want to be an author. लिख दूं,
Okay.
कोई पढ़े नहीं पढ़े चलता है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, ऑथर तो है. दूसरा है where you have an urge and where you have an internal calling where it say that now is the time and you can add value through your book. So it happens with us like that. So by the way, my wife Meg, and I, we both have authored the book together. Now what happened was we were delivering a lot of sessions, back to back we were delivering a lot of sessions, and a lot of people used to ask us, sir हमको और पढ़ना है, डिटेल में कहाँ पे मिलेगा, so I said blogs में पढ़ लो, ये पढ़ लो, वो पढ़ लो, always used to. And like I'm sure we always used to give excuse to ourselves, time nahi hai, time nahi hai, time nahi hai, and because genuinely what happened was we were delivering 18 to 22 days in a month. I was executing, the rest is traveling, client में, तो हमारे पास genuinely time भी नहीं होता था. But then one day what happened was मेरा एक सेशन था, ओके, 3 दिन का सेशन था, वो लास्ट मिनट कैंसिल हो गया था ड्यू टू सम
Okay.
रीजन. And I think that was the longest break I have taken in last 7 years. So 3 days अब मैं बैठा था, तो मैं सोच रहा था क्या करना है. So that is the moment I thought, चलो, I sat with my wife. We said, let's work on something and let's see how it happens. And that is, during those 3 days, we actually structured the entire context of the book. That this is the content.
Okay.
Now, what helped us, one of my friend actually told me that hello, I think I just lost you.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, I think I lost you. Sorry, I just
Yes.
talked over there.
Yeah.
So what happens is, so one of my very sweet trainer friend actually told me, Mr. Rajesh, he said that what happens is usually people write a book and then they speak about that book. In your case it is reverse. We have spoken about the content for last 6 years, and then we have written a book. So the clarity was superb in our mind because we have spoken about that content. But then yes, it took us 8 months to get the content right. So we used to get up early in the morning, we used to sit and discuss till late at the night, and we used to come up with chapter wise, module wise. So it took us 8 to 9 months to get that content right, and then obviously we had proofreading and also the book itself was a amazing journey for us, and we proudly call it like a third child, so because honestly I feel that we have written something that when we are not there and our kids will pick up that book, they will get maximum direction for their life in the book itself, so अभी कोई पढ़े नहीं पढ़े, honestly हम लोग इतना sales पे ध्यान नहीं देते, but God has been really kind, we have got great response. A lot of people have taken our books, and whoever has read the book has given us good feedback and all. And we are also working on the second book of it. लॉक तभी तो 3 दिन में आइडिया, अभी तो लॉकडाउन 2 महीने घर पे थे, so now we got a lot of idea about all that book. So yeah, but for me what happens is I think you have to be highly obsessed, you have to be highly obsessed. And going back, Elroy, to the first discussion that we had, I always keep telling myself, why did you start this? Why did I leave my job? It was because I wanted to give a belief to my children, because I got 2 kids, a daughter and a son, that they can chase their dream. Now I can settle down, I can relax, but now I know that I need to scale up so that when they grow up, they don't feel that, okay, individual hi humko karna hai. We can also scale up, So what else? So, so whenever we are working, whatever we are working, my nieces there, my nephews are there, we, so it's for every one of them that, now I think, somewhere we are trying to become, or we have become a reference point in our family, so that the kids look up to us, that, इनको अभी जैसे आपका भी है, आप इंटरव्यू ले रहे हो, आर्टिकल्स आते हैं हमारे, ब्लॉग्स में आते हैं, न्यूज़पेपर में फोटोज आती है, कोई इंटरव्यूज लेता है, कभी बुक आता है, बुक लॉन्च होता है, सब कुछ होता है. We in fact did a wonderful book launch also, grace of God, there were like 180 190 people who came over there. वो store हमको छोटा पड़ गया था, but it was only just for our kids to see, look, what happens when you do something, so now they have also started to believe in themselves. So whatever work they do, I'd say that, please do whatever you feel comfortable. We do all these things. So when you ask, time कहाँ से मिलता है, सिर्फ ये thought से मिलता है कि मैं क्यों कर रहा हूँ. It is not for myself, it is for the kids, if they can do whatever they want to do now, I think it's a successful life that we had, so therefore I don't stop, therefore I don't take much breaks. Also, I do enjoy my life, it's not that I'm boring.
Hmm.
I do have my own way of enjoying my life, but if I have a checker in me,
Hmm.
if I feel I'm wasting the time, I'll stop it then and there. I will just stop it. But if I feel no, then I can, carry on, and I'll work
So,
24 hours also.
I guess it's the why, which is the all important question and is the guiding force to all that you could possibly do. So we are running short of time. In fact, we have kind of exceeded. So one last question, three learnings that you would give, or three learnings that you have had till date that you feel every trainer should know.
I think I think, so these are my learnings, so each
Mhm.
its own. So, first is I think I should know myself very well. I should spend time with myself, and when I mean I should spend time with myself, it's not on WhatsApp or Facebook. I mean, genuinely, doing assessments, reading
Mhm.
books, spending, capturing your thoughts, understanding, taking feedback from people. I genuinely till date also, I always take feedback. I always check with people, how was
Mhm.
it? What was it? I always seek feedback. जैसे because वो हमारा हमको मालूम होना चाहिए. I need to know my blind spot. In fact, you'll be surprised that I got in when I started my career. A lot of feedback we used to take, and a lot of feedbacks where people wrote and they say, and I used to just leave a column, any other comment or any other suggestion, like most of the trainers would do.
Mhm.
We analyze of all the comments that we are getting. 90% of the comments were mythology stories are amazing. So we also got a lot of confidence from the feedback that what we are thinking, we're on the right path. It's
Mhm.
challenging, it's tough, but I think you need to be open. And if anyone criticizes you, I think that he's your best friend. Take that feedback. ले लो, मानो नहीं
Correct.
मानो. So I always say, सुनना तुम्हारा हक है, मानो नहीं, सुनना तुम्हारा फर्ज है, मानो नहीं मानो तुम्हारा हक है, but सुनना तो पड़ेगा. So first is be open to that. Second is, I feel you have to be very disciplined. Very, very disciplined. Our industry is very complacent. I know a couple of trainers जो, उन लोग बोलते हैं कि ठीक है 8-10 दिन काम करेंगे, लाख रुपया कमा लेंगे. It is not about money. It is about 30 days.
Mhm.
What are you doing in those 30 days? So for me, Elroy, my target is never money. My target is the number of days. How many days am I engaged? How many days am I
Mhm.
executing? That is more important for me. Rather than just sitting at home and on being WhatsApp, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not saying you do a low budget workshop. हर एक pricing होता है. There's no low budget, no high budget. Everyone works as per the budget.
Mhm.
In fact, if you're charging 1 lakh rupee for a workshop, I'm sure someone else was charging 2 lakh rupees for that workshop also. So किसी ना किसी का market कोई
Mhm.
ना कोई किधर ना किधर हमेशा खराब होता ही है. वो सब thought process में मैं पढ़ता नहीं हूँ. But you have
Mhm.
30 days. Remove 4 Sunday. मैं तो
Correct.
Sunday भी काम कर लेता हूँ. Mythological housie खिला
Mhm.
देता हूँ लोगों को. So I will take sessions on that also. But
Mhm.
because you have to work, discipline.
Mhm.
Because when you see money, when you see success, वो जहर का फेस चला जाता है, आपको लक्ष्मी मिलती है, लोग खुश हो
Mhm.
जाते हैं. बट वो समुद्र मंथन में जहर आता है, फिर लक्ष्मी आती है और उसके बाद अमृत आता है. सो पैसा तो आ गया. Now don't get complacent. Work on yourself. So that would be the second.
Mhm.
Third, I believe is that start selling yourself. You need to sell. India has a population of 1.3 crores. अगर इंडिया में नहीं बेचा तो किधर बेचा? A lot of time people in these 2-3 months of lockdown also, people have said काम नहीं है, काम नहीं है, काम नहीं है. I don't spend time with such people.
Mhm.
Boss, तेरे पास, it's not that work is not there. Everyone is struggling. But if you're gonna crib 24 hours, work is not there. ना वो काम आएगा ही नहीं. बचपन में
Mhm.
भी एक कहानी हमने सुनी थी. If you are spending
Mhm.
time with people who feel there's no business, you will also have no business because you are used to those thought process. I
Mhm.
hang out with only those trainers, those people who feel there is potential, who feel there is market, who feel that we can sell, and that is where sale happens. So your company matters a lot, and you need to sell. I work with trainers who are very positive. Market खराब है, सबके लिए खराब है, आपके लिए क्या, मेरे लिए भी खराब है. But still we are working because, and most of the trainers I know, I know Ganesh pretty well, he's doing good. Ajit is doing good, Sham is doing good. There are so many trainers,
Mhm.
IDs, what do you call, learners conclave is helping so many people. Sharad is doing good, but all these trainers that I've seen, one positive point is that they're positive,
Mhm.
one common point, sorry, is that they're positive. कि करना है, हाथ पैर
Mhm.
मारो, मॉड्यूल्स बनाओ, पढ़ो, लिखो, नेटवर्किंग करो, and use
Mhm.
social media very beautifully. So
Mhm.
if you go through my entire, account or page, there's no political post, there's no religious post, because it's like garbage in, garbage out. It should be only
Huh.
positive. People should feel positive connected to you. So that is what I think. Yeah. So
All
that's.
right, great. So just to consolidate or summarize, 3 points. First one is feedback. Second one is be disciplined. And third one is start selling yourself.
Correct. Sorry, add one more. Don't stop learning.
Okay. And don't stop learning.
Yeah, whatever happens, don't stop learning.
All right.
Correct.
So thank you very much, Rishi. I believe it's been a wonderful conversation that I've had with you. And I'm sure our viewers too are going to have a good time as they view it, understand it, and maybe ruminate on the wonderful points that you have brought across.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So thank you very much. And so this goes out from all our viewers and Learners Conclave team to the sage of the new age. So thank you very much. And viewers, all of you, well, in case you have any questions pertaining to creating your brand value as a trainer, this Sunday on 7th of June, we are going to have a new session that starts off that's called Ask Asif. So if you have any questions pertaining to how can I develop myself as a trainer, how can I offer myself to the market, get your questions ready. And we will be live at 11 a.m. this Sunday. And this session is going to happen every first Sunday of the month. So get ready with your questions and be with us on our FB page this Sunday, 7th June.
Thank you, Elroy. Thank you, Learners Conclave. Thank you, Asif, for the opportunity. Thank you so much for time and energy.
It's our pleasure. And thank you very much. I'm sure that we've had a conversation that did impact. So thank you very much and look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow as we have our guest speaker, Ganesh Dalvi, who's going to be part of our discussion, the conversation that impact. All right. So see you all tomorrow once again at 8 p.m. on Facebook Live. Thank you very much, Rishi.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.